So I haven't uploaded in a week. What can I do that requires the most minimal amount of effort that I can put out? Also, sorry I haven't been posting. There's just been this thing going on where I had to go on a road trip and I couldn't really be in Minecraft. So anyways, here's some parkour while I'm gonna be telling you a story that happened at my elementary school that actually not that long ago. So at my school we have this really big red track going towards the back of the school, and in three random places in that big track thing, our school put these exercise stations. So during actual school time, once we do whatever random school stuff, we go out and we eat snack, then we'll go out to recess to play on a play structure. And right next to where we have our snack is right where we have our snack is where we have one of those exercise things. So on this really low pole where you're supposed to do push-ups, I figured out that you can jump over it. Usually after 5 minutes of snack, people go out to recess. Since only me and 6 other people of the 50-ish in my grade level were still eating snack, no adults were supervising us because they went to supervise those other 44 kids. So there's no adults to stop me from jumping over this pole or bar or whatever you want to call it. So when I was first jumping over this cool little bar thing, I was kind of stopping right before you need to jump over it, and stepping on top of it, and then pushing myself and propelling myself forward. It was really sad. It wasn't even a jump. And after a while of doing this sad little jump, there was these few kids that started catching on and started also doing this sad little jump. Then, because I'm so cool, I didn't stop at the edge, and I actually jumped this time. And I still did that sad little thing where I had my foot propel myself on from the bar. It just, now I wasn't stopping. Now just going floomp over it. So for some reason, everyone thought that was super duper cool. And they're like, oh my god, that's super duper cool. It wasn't really. It was horrible. It was so sad. But I ended up going wait, what if I actually do something cool so people think that I'm doing something cool? Why not actually do something cool? So instead of doing this sad little jump where I step onto the bar, I actually just jumped over it. Hey, random question of the day. Do you like the center of cinnamon rolls? I will read your comments in the next video. I'll show them if I get any this week, because I'm trying to post every Friday, so maybe I won't have any comments next time because, no one's posting. So anyways, so I jumped over that pole, which was pretty cool. So one of the people that were there, we'll call her Maya. So Maya was she just couldn't jump over it. She wasn't even doing a sad little step over it. She was just crawling over it. And she was like, oh my god, it's so hard. How am I supposed to do that? And I'm like, well, isn't it technically harder for me? Because, so I was much taller than Maya, and so I had to duck my legs more when I jumped over it, otherwise I would hit the pole. And little did I know, I jinxed myself. That's foreshadowing. And the very next time, literally right after I told her this, so I was making a joke since I was the only one who could jump over it. I was making a joke. I'm like, oh, I'm just more aerodynamic. And since I was so focused on making this joke, I got distracted and I didn't duck my long noodle legs, and I and I hit my right knee on this pole bar thing, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna call it bar. So this wouldn't have been a problem. Like, it didn't really hurt that much. Like, I could have like still jumped over it, but my body, it was like pain, and it like made my whole body spread out. And I was like flailing in the air. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention this a little bit, but the floor that I was about to land on was like made of like those like cut rubber pieces. And since this was pretty old, all the rubber pieces were pretty loose. So, more foreshadowing. So I realized, I'm like, wait, maybe I shouldn't be like flailing. So I went into like a little ball. I was just like a little mushy, limp ball so I actually do horseback riding, which might be the next story I'm talking about. But when you fall off a horse, you have to go into a round, mushy ball, so that way you don't get hurt. And, well, so this happened in like 2 seconds. So I went in that little ball, and I like hit the ground, and for some reason, I find this really fun to do, even though it's super painful. I did 2, not 1, 2 full barrel rolls, and I just like rolled around on those sharp old rubber pieces, and then my body was like, pain. And like I said, when my body feels pain, it has to go all flaily. So I started words are hard, I'm sorry. Flailing again. I like banged up my knees, my elbows, my hands, and like the worst part is that after recess, they make us use hand sanitizer. And I banged up my hands pretty good. Yeah, that burned. But anyways, so I was like actually in a lot of pain, and I was like I should have just laid on the ground and just let myself lay there and go just rest. But like, because I didn't want like to make a fuss out of it, I just jumped back up to stop my friends from worrying, and I'm like, I'm fine. Just so you know, I really shouldn't have done that. So I went up, I was like, I'm fine. I just didn't want to make a scene. Alright, so here's me recording an outro right now. This is a separate recording that I'm doing. And I was just listening to this as I was editing, and I'm like, I'm a pretty good storyteller. How would you guys like it if I started a podcast? Just throwing ideas out there. If anyone likes this, I'll do it. I'll definitely have to get a better mic now. I just don't have an excuse anymore if I end up doing a podcast. But I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. And with that thought, bye-bye.